Hey yo, it's episode 4 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show, and guys, it may be the first episode of February, but starting this coming Tuesday, NASCAR is back with Advent Health Daytona Speed Weeks. Hello guys, it's me, Elijah Leonard, the host of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show, and as you can see, these are my two panelists. Top right, that's Wyatt Walker. Top left, that is Zachary Taylor.
Hello.
So folks, we got about 5 topics to cover, especially one that got released earlier today, which was it wasn't really out of left field, but we kind of saw this happening in some sense. But to start this off, I don't want to start this off on a low note, but unfortunately, this has to be said, because if you guys, if I can actually say it. You guys know about Beard Motorsports, right? They used to have Brendan Gaughan as the driver, but now he is fully retired from NASCAR altogether, and Noah Gragson is going to be racing in the Daytona 500 this year, or attempting to. Well, the president of Beard Motorsports, Mark Beard Sr., unfortunately has passed away. The team has said to respect the privacy of the family, but also the team, and they are going to continue their Daytona 500, trying to make it into the Daytona 500 or race the 500. The part that I was a little bit confused about was, are they actually going to have a spot in the 500, or are they still going to try to attempt to make the Daytona 500? And I've come to the conclusion that's most likely what they're going to do. They're going to continue to try to work hard to get to make the 500, either on qualifying speed or through the duels. So with that in mind, seeing as how Beard Motorsports no longer has the veteran experience with Brendan Gaughan, but now with some of the younger blood in Noah Gragson, how do you think that's going to affect the performance? Do you think it's going to be a huge positive effect? Do you think it's going to be a negative effect? Or will it really not matter at all?
Sucks over there being motorsports. Just sucks losing friends and stuff. And in my opinion, I feel like just for his honor, they should have done like a chart. They weren't going to go full time, but at least a charter for the 500 in his honor. At least for them to get a chance to attempt it.
Yeah.
It's like, I just wish that they just do that in his honor. They didn't have to do it for any other race, just for him in his honor. Just have a charter race for Daytona 500. They're going to work hard. Noah Gragson, this is going to be his first time. I see some spirit in him. I feel like he can end up racing his way, qualify his way or race his way in there. So I have confidence to see Beard Motorsports get in there and just pray for the family. Taylor?
Oh. Uh-oh.
Hello? Taylor?
You there?
You're
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Not
Your
sure.
screen's low. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure what happened there. Go for
I'm not
it.
sure either.
I was kind of having technical difficulties there for a moment. But as I was starting to say before that, I mean, that was pretty sad to hear about what happened with one of the Beard Motorsports people dying and everything. But I do think that they probably could race their way into the Daytona 500 if they weren't able to qualify well enough to. I think they would be able to do that. I mean, Noah Gragson, I think, will do a great job in that 62 car in the 500. If he can make his way into the race, I think they could probably have a pretty decent run with that young driver behind the wheel.
They very well could. I mean, seeing as how Gragson was able to win Daytona last year in the Xfinity Series, and has a good chance of winning it again this year in the Xfinity car. I don't see him having any sort of issue making the Daytona 500. I think he's going to be able to do it, regardless of what team he's on. So that's the good thing. Okay, so we got some other news involving Denny Hamlin and his sponsor FedEx. Excuse me. So this year was supposed to be Hamlin's contract year, but seeing as how Hamlin has had himself a spectacular season last year, he now has a multi-year contract extension, and FedEx has also signed an extension with Denny Hamlin. So Hamlin is going to be at Joe Gibbs Racing, and FedEx is going to be with Hamlin for a little while longer. So with that in mind, as far as Hamlin's case, do we see Denny Hamlin having himself a similar season to what he had last year, or do you think there's going to be a little bit of a fall off?
Sometimes these drivers have like good seasons back to back to back. I'm bringing up a favorite of mine for this one, Martrex Jr. He had like two best seasons, really good three seasons back to back to back. And you got Kyle Busch, who haven't had a really bad season until this last year. So we never know if they're going to have a really good season or a really bad season unless it actually comes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I had to make an early prediction guess, I'm not so sure. I'm not giving up confidence in Joe Gibbs Racing, but I'm going to predict, and I'm not sure, like guts tell me it's good or not, but it's a gut feeling that I don't think Denny Hamlin will be as good as last year, like getting 9 wins and stuff. But I do see him running up there, maybe getting at least 5 wins predictably. But it's glad that he's still there. He's not going to be out looking for another ride and stuff. He's where he should be. I like seeing him in there. He's been there since he was a rookie. I don't see why he would be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And also to add on, there's some other drivers whose contracts are up this year that have not had an extension. Mm-hmm. Too, and I could see some of them retiring after this year, but that might be saved for a later video.
Yeah.
Taylor?
Well, I mean, I do think Hamlin will probably have a pretty nice season this year. I mean, whether he's going to win races like he did last year, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But I do think Hamlin will have a pretty nice season back behind the wheel of that FedEx Toyota. And I think he's going to be able to be competitive and win some races.
So, Wyatt, you touched on some other drivers having their contract years and potentially retiring. And one driver that I have in mind that may be retiring a lot sooner than what some of us would believe is Kevin Harvick. And here's why. His wife apparently said if he pushed 20 years into his Cup career that she would do bad things. And that's because the thing is, the reason why he said that was because he's got a family. He's got Keelan. Keelan is trying to get into racing. Well, technically he is. So part of it is because he has a family and he needs to be a full-time dad and help Keelan get up to NASCAR, which most likely is what Keelan's dream is at this point. So just help him work up to that. But also because of the fact that Harvick has pretty much done everything in the sport already. He's already won a 500. He's already won a championship. He's already won Indianapolis 3 times. He's won the Coke 600. He's won the Southern 500. He's practically won every single race that you can imagine. So he's already got all these accomplishments. And this is going to be...
only a few...
What's that?
There's only a few races he has not won it yet. Unlike Kyle Busch, and all the new tracks coming up, Kyle Busch hasn't even won it every single track. So he's accomplished a lot, but he hasn't won at every single track.
Yeah, so now Kyle Busch has a little bit more work to do, in that sense. But now, since you mentioned something about contract years, Brad Keselowski is on his contract year because if you remember last year, Ryan Kendall said something about him having a 1-year contract extension, which surprisingly was not like all that many years. It's just one season. So I don't know if that's telling me that at some point Keselowski is going to have to step up his game this year and show that he belongs at Penske Racing and deserves a contract extension. I kind of think that Keselowski is going to have himself a better year and try to get up there, make some noise, and win some races this year before his contract is potentially up should he not get a contract extension. Because he could use his performance this year for two things: a multi-year contract extension at Penske, either that or show other teams what he's capable of. So that way, whenever another team comes, like dropping into his inbox in his email or giving him a phone call or something like that, he has the resume, he's got everything, all the tools that he needs to go to the next team and continue to build from there. So that's just something that was on my mind when you touched on some drivers having potentially contract years and could also retire.
The add-on to what you're saying is, I feel like I don't see why Penske would relieve Brad Keselowski because he has done really a lot of, been the top guy at Penske for a whole bunch of years. He got a championship. He's won the Southern 500 and the Brickyard. Like you said, he's won a bunch of super speedway races. He has not won the 500, unfortunately, but he has won. But he's won he's the recent winner of the Coca-Cola 600, and he made it to like the final four of the playoffs and did like a stellar season.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, Penske should not have just given him 1 year. He should have given him at least, I'd say, a good 3, in my opinion. Cause I don't see why Penske would relieve Brad. I feel like Brad's safe where he is. I don't see him going anywhere else. And add on some more. I'll add on a couple more drivers who are doing their 1 year or having their final year extension on top of my head. Kurt Busch, I believe, is one. Ryan Newman's another one.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe, and I've heard this, Martin Truex Jr. is on his with Joe Gibbs Racing. So there's a couple of drivers who, I know I didn't list them all. I know there's probably a few more. I don't remember on top of my head. But there's a few whose contract could be up to either they will retire or what. But I guess if I'm already saying this now, my early predictions of retirement, you said it was going to be Kevin Harvick, which I still feel like even then, he still has a few more years on him, but I get what you're saying. But I'm thinking the person has like, one of the persons has like two kids already, and he was able to walk away from a scary accident. Going the number 6, Ryan Newman. I feel like Newman is coming up to where he's getting to the point where he has to retire, and I'm adding a kind of an old. I'm adding a Busch, but it's not Kyle. The person on your hat. I feel like Kurt Busch maybe if two people had to retire, I feel like it's going to be Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch because those two are probably the two, not besides Harvick, the two oldest guys on the track currently, because Harvick's been there the most out of all of them. Let's be honest here. Harvick's been there the most, and then you got Kurt Busch and Newman. They've been there not as long, but close enough. Like probably a year or two after him. So I feel like, if anything, the guys whose contract's going to end up being retirement might be Newman and Kurt Busch, to be honest. But there's other drivers whose contracts, the final extension, they don't know where they're going. Just have to have a good race, especially Matt DiBenedetto.
Mm-hmm.
Matt DiBenedetto's the main one. I see him, if Keselowski ends up moving, it might be a good chance that he may end up going there. I don't know. But that's all I got to say.
No.
Got any input, Taylor?
Well, I do think it will be interesting to see if anybody does retire after this season. And what will happen with all these drivers in contract years, and especially with Keselowski only signing a 1-year extension, and some of these drivers that you were just mentioning that may possibly retire at the end of the season. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but it will be interesting to see how it all goes for all those drivers.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of news comes out later in the year. Maybe Kurt Busch will retire this year, maybe next year. And you guys are synchronizing, taking a drink.
I can't help it. My
Right. So, with that in mind, we're just going to have to go through this season and see what news pops up later on in the year. So, before the show started, we talked about Hailie Deegan, right? About her making her first ever Daytona truck appearance at Daytona, and this is going to be her first full season in the truck series. They recently revealed her truck, and my gosh, it is the exact same as all the other Monster Energy cars out there. But I'm not saying that the truck sucks. It looks amazing. Every single Monster Energy truck or car looks just amazing, regardless if it's just a black base with the green Monster Energy logo running down the side. I always feel like Monster Energy cars or trucks look great. But what makes the truck better is that you remember last year on Haley's ARCA car where you had the big giant teeth on the front end, and also same thing with her truck. Well, those teeth are not there anymore.
Nah, it's replaced with even. Nah, I'm looking at it now. It's replaced with even better looking teeth. If you think about it, it's the grill teeth.
It's the grill teeth. That's right. So, regardless, though, Hailie Deegan's truck was revealed, and honestly, like, the one looks really nice. It's very ironic of how we're gonna have a number one Monster Energy machine in the Cup Series, but we're also gonna see it in the Truck Series. So with that in mind, as far as Hailie Deegan's performance this year, seeing as how in her only truck start at Kansas, she finished 16th, but seeing as how she finished 16th, how do you think that finish in particular is going to reflect on the rest of her season going into this year?
Well, for starters, that was only one race, not just like, like 5. Like some drivers do a part-time 5, 6, maybe 10.
Yeah,
Depend. Reflects on that, but just one race don't say all that much because like we don't know if she's just good at that track or she's good at other tracks. That's the thing, but it's impressive that she almost got a top 15 at Kansas.
it is very impressive.
And with that, I feel like I'm not 100% sure she'll get in the playoffs or not, but I do feel like she will get a good finish, run up pretty good. Hell, I even see her getting a top 15 in the playoffs. Not playoffs, I'm sorry, in the standings. Top 15 in the Truck Series standings. I could see that happening. And Elijah's running away. That's fantastic. Elijah just ran away from me.
I had to turn on my light.
Elijah didn't like me talking, so he ran away. Damn.
No, I was listening. I promise. I had to turn on my light. I unplugged my earbuds and everything so that way I could still listen.
I'm messing with you, man. You know I'm messing.
I know.
All jokes aside, I do think you get like top 15 in the points stage. Maybe slight chance, but maybe she will win a race. Hopefully, it's not a Daytona or Talladega, so it won't be like another Rafael Lassard incident. But I'll say I really do think Deegan has a great chance to win a race, maybe even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good year, even though she's a rookie. But you've seen some of the rookies that passed, like top of my head right now, Zane Smith made the championship 4 and got like what, three wins, maybe 3 wins, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't
I don't
remember.
remember how many wins he got, but in his rookie season he did get some wins and made the championship 4 with 2 of his teammates.
Oh, Zane Smith. That's who you're talking about, yeah. Right?
What did you think I was talking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about somebody else. I was like, huh? I thought you were talking about Justin Haley. I'm like, wait a minute. He got a few wins. But that was his Truck Series year. But no, Zane Smith. Yeah.
So the rookies in the Truck Series do end up becoming good, kind of like the Xfinity. It's just the Cup guys who really have to step up and stuff to make unexpected wins, like what Cole Custer did
Yeah.
in Kentucky. That was hands down one of the best races in 2020.
Yeah.
One of the best finishes. I'm sorry, one of the best finishes. But now mine, Taylor. What do you think?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how she's going to do in her first full-time season in trucks. And I do think she's going to have some really solid equipment under her to be able to have some good runs. And, I mean, who knows? Maybe she'll even pull out a win somewhere. So, but I do think she'll be able to be competitive and really be able to get some good finishes. And it'll be interesting to see how she does with her first full-time season. I mean, she did pretty decent at Kansas when she did that race last year. So we'll have to see how she does in her first full-time year.
Here's my thoughts on Haley Deegan winning. I see her winning at a maximum of maybe 2 to 3 races at most. It's kind of slim. Wyatt is giving me that look of just like, it could happen. But like, here's the thing.
I don't see 3. I may double down with 2. I may double down with you on 2.
Here's the thing. I don't see them happening at like a super speedway or a 1.5-mile track. I see them more at like maybe a road course, maybe the short tracks, maybe even Bristol Dirt or Knoxville. I see them happening at those tracks in particular because if you go back to the K&N series, that's basically the types of tracks that Haley Deegan has won at. She's won over at, what was it, somewhere over in, I don't know, Idaho. I don't know what the first track was.
Idaho? I don't know.
I don't know. But she also won the Las Vegas dirt track and then also some other track. I can't remember where, but either way, all 3 of her wins in K&N came from short tracks and dirt tracks. So I'm seeing her winning at those places in particular.
Keep this in mind as well. In series, and we've been shown this before. You may be good at one series about some tracks, but other series may be different.
Yeah. Part of it could be competition. Part of it could be the equipment. Part of it could just be because, it's just like... Maybe it's kind of like Jimmy Johnson, for instance. He never really lit the world on fire in Xfinity, but he definitely did in Cup. So maybe it could be something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. So, moving on to some other breaking stories that took place, that came out, I believe, yesterday or a couple days ago. But this coming Tuesday, 2311 is going to be in the Clash this year, but it's not going to be with Bubba Wallace. It's going to be, surprisingly and very strangely, with Ty Dillon. Yeah, I kind of wasn't expecting this because the thing is, Ty Dillon is now going to be racing in the Clash with 2311. He's also going to be attempting the Daytona 500 with Gaunt Brothers. He's going to be racing a limited schedule in the Xfinity Series with Joe Gibbs. Okay. All that aside, I'm just going to ask this question. how weird is it to see Ty Dillon in a freaking Toyota?
Off, I'm gonna point out that this didn't surprise me at all because most of the people I've heard talking about this already knew this was going to happen. Like we already knew Bubba Wallace was going to be in the Clash. We already knew Ty Dillon was. He didn't have a ride, and it should have hit at us. Like he's been going to race for Toyota stuff. Like Gaunt Brothers was the first one, then doing part time for Jiggers Racing.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the hint. Like we all kind of knew at that point. Like if he's going to make the Clash, he's going for 23-11. It was not surprising at all. Do I think he's going to do good in it? Probably not. But just it didn't surprise me at all. I expected this, and hey, I can't wait. As Eric Eastep said in one of his videos, I can't wait for the 5 years down the road when they make a trivia. Who was the first person to drive in 23-11? Bubba Wallace? No. Ty Dillon.
Oh my gosh. That's gonna be really, really weird. They'll be like, oh my gosh. It'll just be like the video series. It's just be like drivers you didn't know drove in this ride.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. All right.
Oh my God.
Taylor, what you got?
Well, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how Ty Dillon will do in the Clash and driving that 2311 car. That will be pretty interesting. I mean, with him not having a ride for the Clash, with him not coming back to Germain, I mean, he was able to find a ride, which is good for him to be able to get into a ride for the Clash. And I mean, it will be interesting to see how he does with Gaunt Brothers and when he races for them and down in Xfinity with JGR in that 54 car. It will be interesting to see how he performs, and it is going to be weird to see Ty Dillon in a Toyota, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of normal because like it don't surprise me when every driver ends up going to the like all three manufacturers at one point. It don't feel weird, just like it just feels kind of normal. It's like there's some drivers who've done it already. Ty Dillon's going to be the most recent one. Wait, has he ever drove? He didn't drive a Ford yet, has he?
I don't think Ty Dillon has driven a Ford. I've never seen him drive a Ford.
He's not driven a Ford in the Cup Series yet.
No.
But Matt Kenseth's the perfect example.
Yeah, that's right. That is true.
Kenseth's the perfect example. Who's another good example?
Kurt Busch.
Boyer.
Kurt Busch is another one.
Kurt Busch isn't. Well,
because here's the thing. He has driven a Toyota before for his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, in the Cup. Well, what about the Cup Series though?
Okay, so as far as Cup, he's driven, even though they're not in here, Dodge, Ford, Chevy. So that's 3. But he has yet to drive a Toyota in the Cup Series.
So say another good example, I believe would be Ryan Newman. I would say
Newman has gone from Ford to Dodge to Chevy back to Ford. So he's driven 3 manufacturers. He's also yet to drive a Toyota.
Okay, it's Boyer and Kenseth so far. Matt DiBenedetto. I know he has.
Yeah. He has for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. Actually, wait. DiBenedetto in Cup, he's driven Toyotas, Fords. He went back to Toyota. He's back to Ford. He's yet to drive a Chevy. I have not seen Matt drive a Chevy yet. In Cup, at least.
It's only Kenseth and Boyer then.
Yeah. I think so. Wait, hang on. I just realized something. Suarez is going to be on that list. Suarez is going to be there too because he's driven a Toyota, Ford, back to Toyota. Now he's going to be driving a Chevy this year.
That's right, Suarez is going to be on that with some fantastic paint schemes from Trackhouse.
Those schemes look really nice. But now, actually, no. Let's add in another topic: Trackhouse Racing. Let's add them into this conversation here, because Trackhouse has definitely come out with big news a few weeks ago with Pitbull being the co-owner, which I think we touched on. But this is a brand new team. They're already getting some good sponsors, some really nice paint schemes as well. But my only concern, however, is since they are a new team, it's my concern is how are they going to do this year? You know, because they're, like I said, they're a brand new team. I don't know if they've announced any sort of alliance with any other teams yet. So we don't know if they're getting if they're making their own equipment. We don't know if they're getting equipment from any other teams or their engines from any other teams or whatever. So with that in mind, like, I turn to you guys and I'm going to ask you, how do you guys think Trackhouse Racing is going to do in 2021?
It's not thinking about this because one of the owners of there is Justin Marsh, right?
Yeah.
A road course person?
Yeah.
Maybe it may not do all the. I don't see him getting all that much, doing all the best. I mean, I see him getting at least top 20 in the Cup Series points, along with 2311. I see them getting top 20 as well. But I kind of see if Suarez is a good road racer, like his owner, they may end up like doing good at the road courses as well. So that may be where they shine. Suarez has been doing pretty good. Because maybe I still feel like Stuart Haas was his best team, but this may end up being a better team for him. I don't know. We never seen how the team worked, how the team was and stuff, but we just have to see, I guess. Taylor?
Well, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see how this new team does, and with Daniel Suarez, and it'll be interesting to see how well they perform. And that was a good point about them having Justin Marks as their owner and him being a really good road course driver. I mean, that could be the place where they really have good runs, and maybe Daytona and Talladega, with them being restrictor place, that could be where they have their best runs, and maybe some short tracks too. We'll just have to wait and see how they perform, though. But I think they will have a pretty decent season, and who knows, maybe they'll wind up having an alliance with somebody later on too.
Yeah, it's kind of like with 2311, they've got an alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing. So maybe Trackhouse could get an alliance from, I don't know, RCR? Maybe. So anyways, back to what we were going to talk about. The one final topic that I wanted to discuss was ThorSport. They recently came out with their news today that they're going back to Toyotas this year. So the driver lineup, the driver's lineup is going to be very, very similar. It's going to be Johnny Sauter driving the 13, Matt Crafton in the 88, Ben Rhodes in the 99, but something different with the 98. Grant Enfinger is not going to be full-time this year. He is going to be sharing driving responsibilities with Christian Eckes. So either way, regardless of where Eckes ends up, he's still going to be running with a top team in the Truck Series, and probably in one of the longest running teams in the Truck Series. So when you guys noticed that ThorSport had revealed that they are going back to Toyotas, what was your initial reaction?
I called it.
Yeah, you called it. Okay.
Like, I called that crap a couple of episodes ago. both me and Taylor. Because you and Sean were saying the Chevy, and I'm like, I feel like they're going to Toyota. I knew. When I first heard that, I knew it, but the 98 thing caught me off guard. Cause like, I figured Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, and Ben Rose was going to be back to the cars they were in, but I thought Grant Enfinger was too, but I was not expecting him sharing a ride with Christian Eckes.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's funny every time I think of this. Here's what I think every time I hear Christian Eckes being Thor Sport. Second, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
No one else you didn't think about that, did you? Just think about this. Christian Eckes and Ben Rose racing at the same track together in the same team after the whole incident in Texas.
If that were to happen, I see revenge happening.
Their teammate.
If anything.
So I think it's pretty cool that they're going back to. I think when I first heard of them, they were the Toyotas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And seeing them back in the Toyota group was pretty good. We need more Toyotas in the truck series field. More that will compete for wins. Kyle Busch Motors hasn't been there the last few years.
Yeah.
I feel like that's mainly Busch's fault for driver picks because some of them aren't should just have stayed. Some shouldn't have. I don't even know what he was thinking. Yeah. But just right now, just replacing Christian Eckes and putting I feel like Chandler. I'm not saying Chandler Smith isn't good, but I don't see why he couldn't have made a fourth car. I say fourth. We know Kyle Busch is going to be racing. We know Kyle Busch is going to be being elite again. We know this. So he could have made a fourth full-time car and just added him to the roster. I would have been happy, but they kicked that, and I don't know. Kyle Busch hasn't been smart with his team lately, but I'm just glad there's another group of Toyotas that could step up, hopefully do really well. That's just all I'm going to say. Taylor?
Yeah, most definitely. I called that they were going back to Toyotas as well. I got that prediction right. But I mean, it will be interesting.
They don't count.
Damn it.
But it will be interesting to see how they do going back to Toyotas, and especially with 3 drivers going for a championship. And I mean, I was kind of surprised when I came across that thing earlier where I said Grant Enfinger wasn't going to be full time in that '98 truck after making the championship 4 last year. I was kind of surprised they didn't make a 5th part-time truck to put Eckes in since he's not running the full schedule. I was kind of surprised about that, but
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do, though.
They did the same thing. They did something similar in 2019 with Myatt Snyder a couple years ago. Well, I already said 2019 a couple of years ago with Myatt Snyder. But yeah, they did that with him. When he drove a 27 truck for a few races. So they could have done something similar this year by adding a 5th part-time truck.
Yeah, I agree. Just or a 5th full-time, because isn't GMS doing 5 full-time drivers?
Okay, so let's see. You've got Sheldon Creed, who's full-time. Zane Smith is full-time. Whoever's in the 23 is full-time. It's not Brett Moffitt.
Raphael
Lessard, okay. So
No. No, I was adding on Raphael Lessard's going full-time in the full-time. in the 24, and
24.
I believe he didn't. Did you say Zane Smith?
Zane Smith, I think, is in the 21.
He is in the 21 full time.
Okay, so GMS probably, I don't know what they did to the 23, or unless they have a driver for the 23.
They have for the 23. I just can't think of his name off the top of my head.
I can't think, honestly, who is if the 23 is going to be full time, part time this year. I've got no clue. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna be part time. Find that, but I think they should have done that. I don't think they should have gave Edfinger a part-time ride. And sorry to interrupt what you were saying, Taylor, because we kind of stole your spotlight there.
Let's see. They ain't gonna give me what I want.
So while he's looking for that, I do think that what ThorSport is doing, it's weird, it's odd, but I mean at least Eckes has a place to be at for the most part. But to share a ride with somebody who has actually had some pretty good success in trucks in the last couple of years, I kind of disagree with the move of having Enfinger and Eckes share driving responsibilities of the same truck. If anything, they should have just added a fifth truck to their operation and half of the 27. They should have done that. But as far as GMS, they had 5 trucks. Did they have 5 trucks? I can't remember if they had 5 trucks.
Trying to look for that. Oh, here we go. Starts in 24. That's one. Where the hell are you?
Here we go.
Here it is. Chase Purdy.
Oh yeah.
Chase Purdy. We driving the 23 Camel Truck Series, and it's a full time, so he's going to be full time. And if I look back up to Rafael Lasari, I believe he's going.
I think he's going full time too.
He's what's fifth entry. He's going full time. Zane Smith's going full time. I don't see anything to where showing that going part time. But yeah, I think GMS got 5 full-time drivers racing in the truck series for GMS.
Wow.
So I don't understand why ThorSport didn't do that.
I'm not sure why either. It's a very odd move what they did.
But, yeah, that is.
But, yeah, that's kind of going to bookend our breaking stories that have broken out throughout the course of this week. And for the first time in a while, we're going to have ourselves a commercial break. So when we come back, we're going to be previewing the 2021 Busch Clash, not on the normal Daytona International Speedway, but on the road course, folks. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back, folks. This time, we're doing something that we haven't done in a long time. Let us look ahead to an upcoming race. For this week, it's going to be the Busch Clash, starting off Advent Health, Daytona Speed Weeks, with a lot of stuff that has been crammed into the 1 week. It starts off with the Clash this coming Tuesday. Then Wednesday will be Daytona 500 pole qualifying. Thursday will be the duels. Friday will be the truck race. Saturday, the Xfinity race. And then Sunday, Valentine's Day, the Daytona 500. So, we got a lot of stuff crammed into 1 week, and it's going to be fun. But in order to get to the rest of the other events that are taking place during Speed Weeks, we got to start off with the Clash. And they're going to be doing this on the road course for the first time ever. And folks, Wyatt, Taylor, what do you think we're going to see?
See the same amount of stuff we saw in the race back before the playoffs happened. We'll see some crazy road course racing, see who the road course ringers are. See, there's some drivers who has experience on the Daytona road course who did the 24-hour. 2 in particular who are in the Clash, which is, of course, the defending winner and champion. Well, I say defending winner. I meant the defending winner of the last race at the Daytona road course in the Cup Series, which is Chase Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Austin Dillon, who's also raced there. And think about this for a minute. I just now thought about this. Austin Dillon never even raced the Daytona road course in the Cup Series yet. Kaz Grala replaced him.
That's right.
And Kaz Grala got a good 6th place finish. So, I feel like that's going to be something. We haven't seen Austin Dillon race this, so we don't know how he's going to do. I'm just now thinking about this. So, Austin Dillon's never raced in the Cup Series there yet, so this is going to be a crazy experience for him. I feel like he'll do okay, but I feel like it's going to be the same. We may have another Elliott Hamlin battle at the end. Maybe it might be Elliott and someone else. Who knows? Or someone else versus Elliott, because like Elliott going after them instead of the other way around. We never know.
Yeah.
It's the Busch Clash. I still rather than race at the oval, the one we're all used to.
Mm-hmm.
But oh well. Taylor?
Oh, well, it is really going to make things interesting with them racing on the road course this time for the Clash. That is really going to take some getting used to. But, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see what will happen, especially with the race really not meaning anything points or championship-wise. I mean, the drivers are really just going to be able to just go out there and just really put their foot to the floor and drive, really. So, I mean, they're really going to be able to go all out. So, I mean, who knows really what we're going to see.
It's going to be very interesting, to say the least. So, first of all,
we may end up having another finish like last year, even though that was the oval. Don't forget, the most damaged car in the track could still win the race if you look at last year's.
and also, that's true. You remember the Roval in 2019 where Chase Elliott locked up the brakes and hit the tire wall, but still came back to win?
Yeah.
You could also see that happening, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But there ain't no chicanery. There ain't no... Not chicane. There is no heartbreak turn we have to worry about this time. But we never know. These people might be able to overdrive it. And don't forget about that, like, little... I forgot what that term's called. Almost going to the line. Kind of like there's a little hump people miss. You have to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Drivers tend to miss that.
That is true. Okay,
So
folks.
we
I'll go for it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So with that, it's time, folks. It's time for predictions for the Daytona Clash. And here's how we do our picks. We give you a driver that we think is going to win.
Forgot something.
Oh, what?
You forgot something else.
What did I forget?
We are also adding on predictions for the Daytona 500 pole. And
I actually was getting to that. So, no, I did not forget.
Well,
huh? Anyways, so Wyatt did mention something about pole qualifying, so we'll get to that later. But it is time for predictions. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. That is self-explanatory. We give you a driver who we think is going to be the one to stay away from. So particularly speaking, it is basically anybody who finishes, say in a 40-car field, it's any driver that finishes 21st or below. That's the driver. That's how you get the point for a driver to stay away from. And then the dark horse is the driver who really has been doing super well, who has been on fire the last couple of weeks, and or we're coming up to a track that they are really, really good at. So that's our dark horse, and the only way you can get that point is if they finish at least 20th or better. 1 point per category correct as far as race concerns. Here's the twist for Daytona 500 pole qualifying. We are only predicting the front row this year. And the twist is that per position, per the driver that you get right, as far as who starts on the pole or outside pole, is 5 points per spot. So if you get both predictions right, it's 10 points put together. So you could get a maximum of 13 points so far.
So I got a question. What if our predictions are right, but they were in different orders? Like, let's say the driver we thought was going to be in pole ended up second, and the driver we ended up second was going to be on pole.
As long as they're on the front row, you can still get the 10 points total.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, the drivers that we are going to predict... Well, actually, no. Let me start over on that. Let me rephrase. Here are the drivers that are actually going to be a part of this year's Clash. You've got Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, also some other drivers that are in here. One of three, Clint Boyer, who is not going to participate, Chris Buescher, the Busch brothers, William Byron, Cole Custer, Matt DiBenedetto, Ty Dillon driving for 2311, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, who is not going to participate, Eric Jones, Matt Kenseth, who is not going to participate, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Martin Truex Jr. So those are the drivers that we can choose from, with the exception of drivers like Johnson, Kenseth, and Boyer. So, with that in mind, here we go. Zachary Taylor, you're up first.
Alrighty. Yeah. Okay. So I think for my driver to stay away from for the Clash, I will say Denny Hamlin will be my driver to stay away from for the Clash.
Really?
Wow, starting off hot.
And for my dark horse, just knowing how good this driver is at road courses, and with how he did on the Daytona road course the first time, I'm going to say that Bass Pro Shops Toyota driver, NTJ, will be my dark horse. And my driver to win. Now, here's an interesting fact. This has not happened since the 19-somethings. I heard the exact year, but I don't remember what it was. But I am going to predict Chase Elliott wins the Clash on the Daytona road course.
It is very possible. It is very possible. He has won, what was it, 5 road course races in a row. So it is very, very possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, up next is Wyatt Walker. Oh, wait.
Well,
Wait. What about your front row predictions?
Yes. Okay. So for my front row starting picks for the Daytona 500, I think I got to thinking about this, and I think the two drivers I think I'm going to pick to be on the front row for the Daytona 500 is going to be the Team Penske car of Ryan Blaney, and I think Chase Elliott is also going to wind up on the front row as well.
No, that's interesting.
You think the best friends are going to end up on the front row? Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott?
That's a very good possibility of that happening.
Okay, it could happen. All right, up next is now Wyatt Walker.
My dark horse, I'm going to throw this out here. He has not raced at the Daytona Road Course, but is eligible for it. And we don't know how he's going to do. The driver who raced for him got 6th place, so that's pretty good. I'm going with Austin Dillon as my dark horse.
Alright.
My driver to stay away from, that's a tough one. Some of the drivers are way too easy to pick. I'm actually gonna go for a limb on this one. He did not do good at the Daytona Road Course. He even got out. I think he even left the track at one point, like during the race. Like he got not disqualified, but he got damaged or something and left. I have to go with Kyle Busch.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just, let's just say the year's starting not so good for Kyle Busch, especially on the class. And as much as I want to pick a different driver, the driver to win, I gotta go with Chase Elliott as well. I gotta go Chase Elliott. There's no explanation. For the front row for the Daytona 500, off the back, I don't remember. I know Stenhouse was one of them. I forgot who the other one was that got the pole who ran up front.
Alex Bowman was another one that won.
It was Alex. It was Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
And that is going to stay. I think Alex Bowman's going to be one of them. Alex Bowman has, I believe he's gotten it the last few years since he's been with Hendricks.
Yes.
At least close.
He's been up in the front row 3 years in a row.
Bowman is now driving a 48, and I feel like he's still going to keep that streak of getting up there. I feel like Bowman's going to do good to get up there. And for the second driver, it's a tough one because anyone can get it. We've seen that from Stenhouse, who none of us thought was going to get it, and end up surprising the hell out of all of us.
Yeah.
I am not picking him, Taylor, so don't you be waving the finger. I saw that finger. I'm not picking him. Calm down. But, I'm actually gonna go on another limb. I'm going another Hendrick driver. Oh, it's between two. Damn. You know what? I'll just go for it. I may get it wrong, but oh well. I'm actually going to go William Byron. I'm going to go William Byron because Hendrick's usually the ones who get in the pole the last few years, and it's always been like it's always been like a couple of Hendrick drivers. I believe William Byron was up there one time, maybe.
Here is something that I think is very interesting. I actually will explain it when I get down to my predictions. As far as front row is concerned, the last 3 years, it's been Alex Bowman who's been ending up on the front row. But statistically speaking, as far as Hendrick Motorsports is concerned, they have been on the front row. At least one or both of their cars have been on the front row for the Daytona 500 since 2015.
Well, and my point stays, because, like, Alex Bowman, I see him getting up there. It's just the other one that's questioning it. I don't really think Kyle Larson's going to. I don't think Larson's going to. As much as I want to agree, Elliott's the other one I'm thinking about. Like, I see him doing it, but I'm not fully sure. Just like, I think I'm just going to go stick with the younger gun. I'm going to go with Byron. Okay. I'm going to go Byron, but I'm 100% sure Bowman's going to get it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Bowman will get it. Just the second person is just the question mark. What about you, Elijah, the host?
Okay.
Wait, it's his turn. Run away! Run away! Ah!
Okay. So, just a few things that I've really been thinking about for a little while, as far as my predictions goes, is who's been really, really good on the Daytona road course, especially when NASCAR was there last, back in August this past year. And so, pretty easily, my driver to win is Chase Elliott, because he's been absolutely rocking the road courses as of late, and he won the inaugural running of the Daytona road course with the Cup Series. My driver to stay away from, however, it's... what more can you say? What really more can you say? I hate to put him under the bus here, but Kyle Busch. I don't see him really doing all that well in the Clash this year. Seeing as how he's had a really, really bad 2020, one year that he can really just kind of put behind him. I just have a bad feeling it's going to carry into this year, because he's kind of been on a little bit of a slump lately, despite having one win last year, but it doesn't make up for the fact that he's had a slump. So I think that slump is going to continue, starting with the Clash. But my dark horse is actually going to be the runner-up from the Daytona road course. It's Denny Hamlin, because Hamlin, the thing is, the last two road course races that I can think of, the Daytona road course and the Roval, it's been Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin that have been going at each other's necks, but Elliott has always been the one on top. So Hamlin, I think, is going to be a dark horse. He's going to be a big dark horse in this fight too. So now we get to the Daytona 500 front row. And as I said, ever since 2015, Hendrick Motorsports has had at least one or both of their cars up on the front row every single year since 2015. It's been Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson in 2015. 2016, Chase Elliott had the pole. 2017, it's been Chase Elliott winning the pole. 2018, actually no, in 2017 it's not just been Chase Elliott. I think Dale Jr. also got up on the front row too. 2018, it's been Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott. 2019, it's been Willie Byron and Alex Bowman. And last year, it was Alex Bowman who was up on the front row too. So I think that trend is going to continue. And this time, I'm going to say, for the driver that I think is going to win the pole, it is going to be kind of a replay of 2018. I think it's going to be switched around, though. Chase Elliott is going to win the pole, and Alex Bowman is going to start outside.
I actually had a gut feeling you're going to do that, because, like, it's kind of, if you think about it, Taylor said it was going to be Elliott and Blaney. I said it was going to be Bowman and Byron, and then you ended up getting both of ours.
Well, I mean, that's what I thought. It's kind of, I had a gut feeling that it could be both of those drivers winning the front row.
I mean, I have a gut feeling it's going to be Elliott too, but I'm just taking my chances with Byron.
Yeah, might as well take a chance.
Exactly.
Okay, so with that in mind, that's going to do it for episode 4 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. We'll be back on Thursday, just a couple hours before the duels, to go over the Clash and also the Daytona 500 pole qualifying, give our thoughts on that, give our insight on some breaking stories, if there are any between now and Thursday. look ahead to the rest of the Daytona events with the Truck Xfinity Cup, make our predictions, and go from there. So anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys a lot for watching. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. On behalf of Wyatt Walker and Zachary Taylor, I'm Elijah Leonard, and we'll see you on the next one.